It was the early morning hours of December 30th, 2025 in Columbus, Ohio. The holidays had just passed. Homes were still lit with Christmas trees, schedules were still slow, and most families were still asleep, resting before the year quietly came to a close. Inside one home, two parents had just tucked their children in for the night. A normal evening, a familiar routine, nothing to suggest that anything was wrong. By morning, that home would become a crime scene. There were no emergency calls in the middle of the night, no reports of a disturbance, no sounds neighbors could point to as unusual, no broken doors or shattered windows, just silence stretching through the dark hours before sunrise. At first, no one knew. It wasn't until a workplace noticed someone hadn't shown up, until phone calls went unanswered, until concern began to replace routine, and then suddenly, everything shifted. Inside that home, two lives had been taken. Spencer and Monique Tepe were not strangers to their community. They were parents of two young children, professionals, friends, the kinds of people whose lives appeared steady, structured, and full. From the outside, nothing about their story suggested violence. Nothing hinted at the devastation waiting behind closed doors. And yet, sometime between 2 and 5 a.m., everything changed. What investigators would soon uncover was not a random act, not a burglary gone wrong, not chaos spilling into the night. It was something far more unsettling, an alleged act rooted in familiarity, proximity, and trust. This is the story of Spencer and Monique Tepe, a case that forces us to confront how little we sometimes know about the lives unfolding just beyond our walls, and how quickly a seemingly ordinary night can become the beginning of a tragedy that no one ever saw coming. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, my name is Alicia, and this is a space where we focus on victim-centered storytelling, delayed justice, and cases that deserve ethical and careful coverage. Before we get into today's case, I do want to issue a quick disclaimer that everyone mentioned in today's case is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I know how frustrating it is to be listening to a case or to be following a case and for it to be very obvious what happened, but I do have to be very careful with my wording because this case has not gone to trial. It's still rapidly unfolding. We are still getting updates to this day, which is why I put off filming this video for so long. But I do think enough evidence has come out for us to form an opinion on this case. This case is so unbelievably frustrating, as are most cases that I cover, but specifically Spencer and Monique, because their lives were taken so unbelievably unfairly. I feel like the two of them worked extremely hard for the lives that they deserved. I think that both of them made a lot of sacrifices in their personal lives for their career or for their family. And for it to just be taken away literally within a matter of seconds, just overnight, I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it, as I'm sure Spencer and Monique's entire family and community feels the exact same. This case is also frustrating because we still don't have a motive. A motive has not been officially released or confirmed. While there is a lot of speculation, and while it is easy to speculate as to why these murders have taken place, I am going to do my best to refrain from suggesting or hinting at why, because again, not enough evidence has come out for me or for any of us to really form an opinion on it, because I do have some opinions on this case, specifically the suspect that we're discussing. But I am going to do my best to stick to the facts of this case because there are a lot of moving parts to it and a lot of new information is coming out very rapidly. So I want to make this video a really thorough and investigative timeline, so that way If you are confused about the case, or if you don't understand what has actually happened versus what is just online speculation, you can use this video to better understand the case. Another disclaimer that I do want to issue is that while it does feel like we have a lot of information in this case, which I feel like we do considering how recently this crime has taken place, we still don't know that much. We still don't know a lot of the context behind relationships. We don't know the specific details of how or why things happened the way that they did in the past, which may have played a role into the killings, which you'll kind of understand what I'm saying as we get into the details of the case. If you find value in this kind of case coverage and you want to support the very hard work that I do to bring these cases to you guys, make sure that you like this video if you think it's worth liking. And if you're listening on Spotify or another podcast streaming platform, hello, make sure that you rate the show 5 stars. It is one of the easiest ways to support my channel and the work that I do and to help these cases reach more people. That is enough rambling from me though, so take a deep breath, settle in, and let's take a look at the evidence in today's case. Spencer Tepe was born on December 9th, 1988 to Tim and Yvonne Tepe in Cincinnati, Ohio. From a very young age, Spencer was described as competitive, driven, and determined, qualities that showed early on through his involvement in sports, particularly soccer and golf. That same work ethic and discipline would continue to define him well into adulthood. After graduating from high school, Spencer enrolled at Ohio State University in 2007. He pursued a bachelor's degree in science with a focus on biology and Spanish. During his time at Ohio State University, Spencer was deeply involved on campus, not just academically, but through leadership and through service. He served as the risk management chairman for the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity, a role that required him to help ensure the organization and its members complied with rules and regulations set forth by Interfraternity Council. He was also selected as a global ambassador for international studies abroad, acting as a campus representative whose goal was to introduce fellow students to study abroad opportunities and encourage international learning experiences. Spencer graduated in 2011, but his connection to Ohio State didn't end there. He went on to work as a lab assistant at the Ohio State University College of Dentistry, conducting oral biology research under Dr. P.J. Reiser. His work focused on masseter muscle physiology, a role that placed him directly in the research side of dental science. It was during this period that Spencer realized something important. What began as an interest in science evolved into a clear passion for dentistry and patient care. He knew he wanted a career that allowed him to help people directly. That decision led him back to Ohio State, where he enrolled in dental school. In May of 2017, Spencer earned his Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from the Ohio State University College of Dentistry. Alongside his academic achievements, Spencer consistently made time to give back. He participated in local volunteer efforts and traveled internationally on mission trips to provide dental care in underdeveloped regions where access to oral care and resources were limited. For Spencer, service wasn't an obligation, it was a priority. His commitment to mentorship was equally evident. Spencer became involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Columbus, serving as a big brother and continuing that role even after graduating college. Over time, he became a long-term mentor to a young boy named Hans, someone Spencer remained dedicated to supporting and guiding.
People have siblings and family at home that support them, but sometimes they need someone else, someone experienced, and they're there for you when you need them.
I thought it was the perfect opportunity to have a role model, male, an adult outside the house that he can share stuff if he needed to. Because a lot of times I feel that kids are not comfortable about talking some of the stuff at home.
Hans has been the easiest match I could have possibly imagined. Since day one, I've known him as a diligent student. He's been focused. He's always been really respectful, kind.
He's a really nice guy. He has a really laid back and lighthearted attitude, but when I need advice, he's always there for me.
He's been the perfect model for Hans. He is being that person that if I doubt on something, I will call him.
I've just tried to remain a role model as best as I can and demonstrate the importance of an education and just really kind of encourage him to to pursue more. My favorite thing about being a big has been how I've become part of his family and he's become part of mine. And it's gotten to a point now where his extended family comes into town from North Carolina or from California, and we all assemble, get together, and break bread together, and it's the most fun thing in the world.
Spencer's always been there, like, to push him a little bit more than what he wants to do, like he feels that he can do.
He's been really supportive. Like, I have a supportive family, but he's always been there as well.
After completing dental school, Spencer quickly secured a position as a dentist at Stone Creek Dental Care in Ashland, Ohio. According to those who worked alongside him, Spencer was known for his strong work ethic, his kindness, and his genuine care for patients. Colleagues described him as driven, approachable, and deeply passionate about the work that he did. It was during this period of life, while working as a dentist in Ashland, that Spencer met Monique sometime around 2018 or 2019. She would later become his wife, and together they would build a family. Monique Tepe, born Monique Sabatursky, was born in Chicago, Illinois. When Monique was just a year old, her family moved from Chicago to Worthington, Ohio, where Monique would spend most of her childhood and be raised. Growing up, Monique was active and curious. She played soccer, enjoyed running, loved horses, and was an avid reader. Those who knew her described her as thoughtful, engaged, and someone who naturally gravitated toward nurturing roles, especially with children. Monique would go on to attend Ohio State University, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Human Ecology with a focus on education. Her love for working with children wasn't just academic. While in school, she worked at a daycare, gaining hands-on experience in early childhood care. That passion eventually led her to pursue her master's degree in early education at Ohio State as well. Now, sometime in her early adulthood, before she met Spencer, Monique began a relationship with a man named Michael David McKee. While the exact start date of their relationship has not been confirmed, social media photographs indicate the couple met and began dating sometime around 2011 and 2013. In 2014, Monique had celebrated her bridal shower, and on August 22nd, 2015, the two were married. At the time, Monique was working from home at Nationwide, and shortly after, on September 10th, 2015, Michael purchased the home the couple shared at 3781 Verona Trail in Roanoke, Virginia, and the couple relocated. But by approximately March of 2016, Monique and Michael separated. On May 2nd, 2017, Monique formally filed for divorce from Michael. Court records indicate that during the divorce proceedings, Michael was still residing in Virginia while completing a surgical residency program, and Monique returned to Ohio. Now, while we don't know yet why the couple separated or divorced, there is no indication in the court findings that the divorce was contentious by any means. That doesn't mean that it wasn't, it just means that it's not documented, and if it was, we don't know about it yet. We do know the couple did not share any children, and that the docket includes a mutual restraining order, which is a standard procedural measure in a divorce case that prevents either party from accessing or altering assets while the divorce proceedings are going on. On June 15th, 2017, the divorce was finalized. From what we know so far, the couple separated amicably. Sometime around 2018 or 2019, Monique met Spencer online, and those who knew them described their relationship as deeply loving and genuinely happy. Friends and family consistently referred to them as devoted to one another and very well matched. In 2020, Spencer would purchase the home the couple would share at 1411 North 4th Street in Columbus, Ohio, a newly built 3-bedroom house completed the year prior. On January 30th, 2021, Monique and Spencer were married in that home, surrounded by close friends and family.
Spencer, what can I say? From day one, I knew you were something special. I had quite a journey to get to you, countless bad bumble dates, wrong relationships, and waterfalls of tears. But it was worth every cringing second because it led me to you. Throughout all of this, I knew that God was guiding me to my person, and that when I met him, it would be the most magical thing ever. And boy, is that an understatement. I finally found my lobster, and it honestly couldn't be a person with a more beautiful heart. I will love you forever, and I'm so lucky to be Mrs. Tepe.
By the power vested in me by the Universal Life Church and by the state of Ohio, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Give me a kiss to bride. To everyone,
Larry does not.
I'd like to present to you Mr. and Mrs. Tepe.
Together, the couple went on to have 2 children who were deeply loved and cared for. They were central to the couple's lives. Monique became a stay-at-home mother, dedicating herself fully to raising their children. Friends and family describe Spencer and Monique as generous, warm, and joyful, often hosting gatherings and bringing people together. They were known as the life of the party, with open doors and kind hearts. Monique's life was defined by care for children, for family, and for the people around her. Now, in the months leading up to the deaths of Spencer and Monique Tepe, there were several events that have not been publicly tied to the Tepe murders. Some of these things that have happened have been publicly confirmed by police to have nothing to do with the deaths of Spencer and Monique Tepe, but I did want to include them all in this video, again, just to provide any clarification or to clear up any ongoing speculation. In April of 2025, Columbus police received a 911 hang-up call originating from the area of the Tepe residence. When a dispatcher called the number back, a woman answered and appeared distressed. She told the dispatcher that she did not need police assistance and declined to provide her name or location, stating only that the situation was something between her and her man. The call was logged as coming from the Tepe home.
Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're crying. Do you need police, paramedics, or anything?
No, I'm okay. I promise. I'm just emotional. I'm okay. I don't need nothing.
Well, can I ask what had you call 911 in the first place? Like, were you having an argument with somebody?
Me and my man got into it, but I'm okay. I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
No.
You guys were just arguing, nobody hit each other?
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I have the information here. I can go ahead and tell the officers to cancel hitting over to your address there at 1411 North 4th Street.
Yes.
If anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
Now, speculation has been circulating online suggesting that the caller may have been Monique Tepe. However, Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant has stated publicly that the caller was not Monique. Assistant Chief Greg Bodker further confirmed that there was no prior history of police calls associated with the Tepe address or the couple. That clarification was also echoed by Rob, Spencer and Monique's brother-in-law. In a January 6th interview on the Surviving the Survivor podcast, Rob stated that family members and close friends know who had placed the 911 call, and it was not Spencer and it was not Monique.
So first off, if you listen to the voice, it's quite clearly not Monique. Everybody has seen the wedding video and has heard Monique talk, and it's obviously not Monique who's calling. Furthermore, I've been very outstated that, Spencer and Monique had people over a lot. They had, house parties, and they enjoyed kind of bringing people together. I think sometimes at these parties, people get a little too drunk, and that's, that happens. And from multiple people that I've talked to that were at this party have all stated, yes, we remember this happening. The woman had just a little bit of a freak out, for lack of a better term. Maybe, was having some mental health issues at the time. But she called the cops from her cell phone. I know it says it was from Spencer and Monique's house. Maybe it was close. But she was at this party, and she just had kind of a lapse psychologically, I think, at the time. And that's that's from multiple people who have told me that. So
in June of 2025, approximately 8 years after Monique Tepe's divorce from Michael David McKee was finalized, court records show what is referred to as post-decree activity associated with the case. Now, post-decree filings occur after a divorce has already been finalized and can be initiated for a very wide range of reasons. These filings are not uncommon and do not, on their own, indicate conflict or misconduct. They can involve administrative matters, clarification requests, enforcement or modification of prior terms, or procedural motions that never move forward. In this instance, the public docket reflects several procedural entries, including hearing notices, a magistrate hearing, a continuance, and later case strikings. Throughout the activity, the case status remained listed as disposed, other disposed, meaning the original divorce had already been resolved and the court was not reopening the case itself. Importantly, the docket does not specify the nature of the underlying motion, nor does it identify which party initiated the filings. So we don't know if it was Monique, we don't know if it was Michael. There is also no indication in the public record that the matter resulted in a ruling, a finding, or judicial determination. The activity was eventually continued and then stricken without adjudication, meaning the court did not rule on the issue before it was removed from consideration. I know that was a lot of words and a lot of explanation, but essentially all that we know is that there had something to do in the court process with Monique and Michael's divorce. We don't know what it is, we don't know why, we don't know what happened, and we don't know who initiated what. So essentially we can't really draw any conclusions based off of this motion alone, but again, it is just something that I wanted to include. There might be more information released later on, but again, we cannot draw any conclusions from this motion being filed. On December 19th, 2025, at approximately 2:31 a.m., Columbus police responded to a 911 call coming from a neighbor reporting someone banging on her door. The caller told dispatch that she believed that someone may be trying to break in. She was unable to see the person at her door, and she did not have any kind of physical description, but she stated that she had not asked the person what they wanted or what they needed. Police cleared the call at 2:45 a.m., determining that there was no immediate threat and no arrests were made. The incident occurred approximately a 3-minute walk from the Tepe residence. Investigators later confirmed that no connection was found between that call and Spencer or Monique Tepe. 10 days later, on December 29th, 2025, Spencer and Monique were last heard from. On the morning of December 30th, 2025, concern for Spencer and Monique began at Spencer's workplace. At approximately 8 a.m., Athens Dental Depot opened for the day, but Spencer did not arrive for work. Coworkers attempted to call him and text him, but they could not get through to him. They also tried to call and text Monique, but she wasn't answering either. And according to those at the office, this was immediately concerning. His coworkers knew that this was highly out of character for him to not show up to work, especially without notifying anyone. The fact that neither he nor Monique could be reached raised even more concern. By around 9 a.m., coworkers contacted the police and requested a welfare check to the Tepe's residence, explaining that Spencer's absence and lack of contact was unusual and worrying.
I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. Well, I'm currently in the state of Florida. I'm on vacation, but this individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Okay. Does he have medical problems or?
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody that lives in that house.
Okay. So
There's
you're
2
in
kids in the home. I'm in Florida. I own the business. I was informed by my employees that he was not at work, and he runs the office. Have you guys received anything else, like calls about him or like a car accident or anything like that?
No, sometimes people just don't show up to work. I mean, maybe he's sick, I don't know.
At 9:10 a.m., police were dispatched to conduct the welfare check. However, officers were reportedly provided with the incorrect address, and they went to the wrong house. After knocking and receiving no response, they cleared the call at approximately 9:24 a.m. But shortly after, a family friend of the Tepes called 911, saying that they were at the Tepe residence and that they had knocked on the door and there was no answer, but that they could very clearly hear one of the children inside crying.
911, what's the location of your emergency? Okay, what's the emergency there, police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the wellness.
We had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what. So.
Okay, were you out there when the police was out there?
I wasn't. I just got here about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, all right, well, we'll send them back out to you.
Then, at approximately 10 a.m., the same person called police back requesting immediate assistance. The caller said that he had discovered Spencer and Monique Tepe inside of the home.
911, what's the location of your emergency? We've got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body. There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
All right, I mean, what's going on there?
There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We just came here, and he appears dead.
Okay.
There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that.
Okay, so you can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything?
Yeah.
Is it like kind of like puddle, like, you know, does he look like...
It doesn't look puddled. I can't look.
Okay, all right, I understand. Okay, and then when was the last time somebody spoke to him?
Yesterday, I suppose.
Yesterday? Okay.
Yeah.
How old is he?
37.
37, okay. Is he like a drug user or anything like that?
No.
Okay, all right, just that's a really young age.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, all right, we're on our way.
At 10:05 a.m., officers arrived at the residence and pronounced the couple deceased. Investigators later confirmed that Spencer had suffered from multiple gunshot wounds, while Monique had been shot at least once through the chest. 3 spent 9mm shell casings were recovered from the scene, and the couple's 2 young children, ages 1 and 4, were found alive inside of the house and were not physically injured. The family's dog was also found alive. Police reported no obvious signs of forced entry into the residence. No firearm or weapon was recovered at the scene, and investigators did not publicly report any evidence of a struggle or a robbery. Based on these findings and the absence of a firearm, authorities ruled the deaths as a double homicide and not a murder-suicide. Investigators also determined that Spencer and Monique Tepe were killed sometime between 2 and 5 a.m. in the upstairs portion of their home on December 30th, 2025. The Tepe residence was equipped with a Ring doorbell camera, and a separate crime camera was also located from across the street. Police obtained and reviewed footage from both systems, but as of right now, the footage has not been released publicly, and authorities have not stated whether it has provided any actionable evidence. News of the killings stunned the surrounding neighborhood. Neighbors described Spencer and Monique as welcoming and friendly, and several stated that they did not hear anything unusual during the night of the murders. In later interviews, Spencer's brother-in-law Rob spoke publicly about the moment he and his wife learned of the tragedy, describing the shock and the devastation felt by the entire family.
It was not a random act where somebody broke in and this, trying to steal stuff. It seems a lot more intentional than that.
Personal, yes.
Just unbelievably disgusting that somebody could do something so evil.
If you could say something to the person or persons who did this, what would it be?
You think that you just took 2 lives, but you took so much more than that. You took a daughter and a son, a brother and a sister, cousins, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, friends, and obviously 2 amazing parents, 2 just innocent children who will never know them again.
In the days following the discovery of Spencer and Monique Tepe's death, investigators began a wide-ranging effort to piece together what happened inside the home and who may have been involved. On January 2nd, 2026, the Columbus Division of Police Homicide Unit issued a public request for assistance. Investigators asked anyone who might have video footage, photographs, or other digital evidence related to the case to come forward. That included doorbell cameras, security cameras, dash cameras, or cell phone recordings. Police specifically requested material captured between 12 a.m. and 9 a.m. on December 30th, 2025 within a defined area surrounding the Tepe residence. That area was bordered by Summit Street to the east, North Grant Avenue to the west, East 7th Avenue to the south, and East 11th Avenue to the north. Authorities emphasized that submissions could be made anonymously and that no account was required to submit evidence. 3 days later, on January 5th, 2026, detectives released surveillance footage showing a person of interest. In a public statement, police reiterated that they believed Spencer and Monique were murdered sometime between 2 and 5 a.m. on December 30th. And according to investigators, the video shows an individual walking through an alley near the Tepe residence during the same time frame. Police were careful in their wording, stating only that the individual was a person of interest. They did not say the person depicted was responsible for the murders, nor did they release details about the individual's identity or movements beyond what appeared in the footage. On January 8th, 2026, police provided another update on the investigation. During that briefing, detectives explained that they were actively reviewing an overwhelming volume of evidence, describing the number of submitted videos as being in the hundreds of thousands. Investigators stressed that this process takes time, particularly when attempting to reconstruct a narrow window of activity across a densely populated area. Authorities also sought to reassure the public. They stated that there was no known immediate threat to the community and confirmed that officers were continuing to patrol the neighborhood regularly while the investigation remained ongoing.
We are working very diligently to try to solve this case. We know that people are concerned, and we know that people have a lot of questions. What we're asking for is patience as it relates to this investigation. We want to make sure that we don't compromise the integrity of this investigation. So when we finally identify a suspect and it goes to trial or it goes to, we want to make sure that there's nothing that could cause this case to be dismissed or cause this case to be kicked. So we're looking at every single tip or every single information that comes in. We leave no stone unturned. We're investigating it, but there's only so much that we can share at this point. We released a video of the person of interest that we're looking for, the person that we know that was in the area at that time. We're asking the community, we're asking the public, if you have any information, if you think you know anything about this person, please contact us. Please call us. You can email us. You can call us. You can call Crime Stoppers. Even if you don't think it's something that's relevant in that moment, it may have been something you saw last week. It may have been something that you saw the day before. It could be relevant to this case. Please reach out. Please let us know. So we are asking for tips. We have received numerous tips as it relates to this case, but we do not have at this moment a suspect that we have identified.
But less than 2 weeks after Spencer and Monique Tepe were found murdered in their home, the investigation reached a critical turning point. On January 10th, 2026, Franklin County issued an arrest warrant for Michael David McKee on behalf of the Columbus Police Department. At 10:57 a.m., a criminal complaint was formally filed in Franklin County Municipal Court charging McKee with murder. The complaint alleges that on or about December 30th, 2025, McKee knowingly caused the death of Monique Tepe by shooting her with a firearm. Then, a second criminal complaint was filed charging McKee with murder under the same statute for knowingly causing the death of Spencer Tepe by shooting him with a firearm. This complaint lists the offense time as 3:52 a.m. and identifies the offense location as 1411 North 4th Street in Columbus, Ohio, the Tepe family residence. According to the arrest warrant, McKee's address was listed in Chicago, Illinois. The arrest affidavit outlines the basis for probable cause at this stage of the investigation. Investigators stated that surveillance footage allowed police to identify a vehicle believed to belong to McKee traveling through the Tepe's neighborhood during the time frame in which detectives believe the murders occurred. Court records indicate that the vehicle was observed arriving in the area shortly before the homicides and leaving shortly after. Detectives tracked the vehicle and later located it in Rockford, Illinois, determining that it was owned by Michael and that he was in possession of the vehicle during the relevant time period. Police officers also recovered multiple weapons from McKee's residence, including what they believe may be the murder weapon. At the time of his arrest, McKee was employed at OSF St. Anthony Medical Center. By 12:04 p.m. on January 10th, McKee was taken into custody by the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office. Authorities announced that he would be held in Illinois pending extradition to Ohio, with an initial court appearance scheduled for January 12th, 2026. On January 11th, one day after his arrest, Franklin County Municipal Court filed upgraded charges against Michael David McKee. He was charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder, each alleging prior calculation and design. Both counts list the offense date as December 30th, 2025, and the offense location as 1411 North 4th Street in Columbus, Ohio. It is important to note that at this stage, these charges remain allegations. No trial has occurred, and Michael David McKee is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. So who is Michael David McKee? Michael McKee was born on June 29, 1986. He grew up in Zanesville, Ohio, where he attended Bishop Rosecrans High School. During his time there, McKee was a student athlete, playing football and earning honorable mention All-State recognition during his senior season, according to Ohio High School Athletic Association records. Academically, McKee was highly accomplished. Archives from the Zanesville Times Recorder show that he ranked 5th in his graduating class with a 3.9 GPA. He was named a Commended National Merit Scholar, recognized as Biology Student of the Year, and inducted into the National Honor Society. He participated in Student Council and Key Club and served as an altar server at St. Nicholas Parish. In addition to football, he also participated in golf, and by the time he graduated in the spring of 2005, McKee had publicly stated plans to pursue a pre-medical track to become a surgeon. After high school, McKee enrolled at Ohio State University, where he completed undergraduate coursework on a pre-medical track and earned his bachelor's degree. In 2010, McKee began medical school at the Ohio State University College of Medicine, and it was during this time period, sometime between 2011 and 2013, that he would meet Monique, who would eventually become his wife. McKee graduated from medical school, earning his medical degree, and the couple relocated to Roanoke, Virginia, where McKee purchased the home at Verona Lake Drive. After Monique and McKee divorced in 2017, McKee continued his medical training, completing a general surgery residency at Carry On Clinic in 2020. In September of 2025, McKee purchased a home at 2100 North Lincoln Park West in Chicago, Illinois. That same month, McKee was named in a medical malpractice lawsuit. According to an amended complaint filed in Clark County Court, the lawsuit alleges that McKee oversaw a surgical procedure at Las Vegas Surgical Associates, during which an 8.6-inch catheter fragment broke off and remained in a patient's leg. The complaint alleges that McKee failed to properly train or supervise the coworker, resulting in the catheter shearing or fracturing and leaving a portion of the device still inside the patient's body. The lawsuit further alleges that the patient suffered multiple adverse outcomes, including lower extremity bleeding, edema, pain, discoloration, and disfigurement. Again, these allegations remain unproven and were pending at the time of Michael's arrest. Court filings indicate that a coworker later told a process server that McKee had just disappeared. On December 10th, the plaintiff's attorney filed a motion requesting permission to serve McKee by publication, a legal method used when a defendant cannot be located. The judge delayed ruling on that request multiple times before ultimately approving of it on January 6th, 2026, 4 days before McKee was arrested in connection with the Tepe murders. The plaintiff in the malpractice lawsuit is seeking damages in excess of $50,000. Because neither Nevada nor Illinois requires physicians to carry medical malpractice insurance, court records do not clarify whether McKee would be insured or personally responsible for any damages if the case were resolved against him. Public licensing records show that McKee holds active medical licenses as a vascular surgeon in Illinois and California. He previously held a license in Nevada, which lapsed mid-2025. Again, at this point, the malpractice allegations, like the criminal charges, remain allegations. No civil judgment or criminal conviction has been rendered. In the days following Michael McKee's arrest, attention turned to the legal process ahead and to the family left behind. 39-year-old Michael McKee appeared at Winnebago County Court at approximately 1:30 p.m., escorted in handcuffs and shackled at the waist, wearing a yellow jail-issued jumpsuit. Inside the courtroom, he was joined by a Winnebago County Assistant Public Defender. During the brief appearance, his lawyer informed the judge that her client would be invoking his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. She also stated that McKee was waiving his right to an extradition hearing and intended to enter pleas of not guilty to both counts of aggravated murder with premeditation he faces in Franklin County Municipal Court. As of now, authorities have not released a motive in the case. With extradition waived, McKee is expected to be transferred to Ohio, where he will appear in Franklin County Municipal Court for a bond hearing. From there, the case will proceed to a grand jury, which will determine whether formal indictments are issued and whether additional charges may be pursued. Only after that process would the case move forward to trial. And throughout these legal developments, Spencer and Monique's family has spoken publicly about their loss, describing them as loving, devoted parents and deeply respected members of their community. They have expressed both heartbreak and frustration as they wait for answers in a case that has permanently altered their lives. Spencer and Monique were the proud parents of 2 young children. By all accounts, their days were centered around their family, showing up consistently with love, care, and devotion. Their sudden deaths have changed the lives of their families in ways that are still unfolding. In response, a GoFundMe fundraiser was established to help support their children and the immediate family members who are now caring for them. The fundraiser has received significant community support and is intended to provide stability, resources, and long-term care during an unimaginably dark time. As this case continues to go through the legal system, Spencer and Monique Tepe remain at the center of it, not as headlines or court filings, but as 2 lives lost, 2 parents taken, and 2 children whose futures have been forever changed. While every case is unique, the deaths of Spencer and Monique Tepe exist within broader patterns that researchers and advocacy organizations have studied extensively. Understanding these patterns isn't about assigning motive, it's about recognizing risk, awareness, and the importance of support systems. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, firearm-related homicides remain one of the leading causes of violent deaths in the United States. Studies consistently show that when a firearm is present in a violent incident inside the home, the likelihood of a fatal outcome increases significantly. Research from the National Institute of Justice also indicates that intimate partner-related homicides often occur during overnight or early morning hours, frequently inside a shared residence, and in many cases, there are no signs of forced entry, no signs of break-in, and violence occurs in spaces typically associated with safety and routine. Nationally, the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence reports that a substantial percentage of homicide victims are killed by someone they know, often a current or former partner. However, experts caution that the presence of prior warning signs varies widely, and many victims show no documented history or reported violence before a fatal incident. It is also important to note that violence can escalate rapidly and without public visibility. A lack of prior police report or criminal history does not mean that it was absent, only that it may not have been documented. For anyone listening who may be in an unsafe or uncertain situation, help is available. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24 hours a day at 1-800-799-7233 or via online chat. Calls are confidential and free. And if you are in immediate danger, call 911. Local resources, shelters, and advocacy programs can often be accessed through community health departments or nonprofit organizations. If you are supporting someone who may be experiencing fear, isolation, or harm, experts encourage listening without judgment and helping connect them to professional support when possible. And finally, for those moved by Spencer and Monique's story, support for their children and family continues through verified fundraisers established in their name. I have linked their GoFundMe in the description box below. Community care, both emotional and practical, plays a critical role in the aftermath of tragedy. As for my thoughts, I want to be very intentional on how I talk about them because cases like these are very heavy and they deserve care. When you step back and you look at everything that we know so far, what stands out to me isn't just the crime itself, it's how normal everything else around it seemed. By all accounts, Spencer and Monique were living a completely normal, loving life. They were raising their kids, they were going to work, they were showing up for their community, and then suddenly, all of that is just gone. As this case continues to move forward, I will be following it closely. I will share updates as they become available, and once this case goes to trial, I do plan on making a part 2 to this video so that we can walk through all of the evidence, the testimony, and the outcomes together. Above all though, my focus remains on Spencer and Monique. They were real people, not just names in a case, and they deserve to be remembered for how they lived, not only for why they were taken. If you stayed through this episode, thank you so much for bearing witness. Telling these stories responsibly means slowing down, sitting with the facts, and refusing to turn away when things get hard to look at. It means honoring victims, even when the truth is complex and the answers are still unfolding. If you or someone you love is in an unsafe situation, please take that seriously. You are not weak for asking for help, and you are not alone. To Spencer and Monique's family, especially their children, my hope is that justice, whatever form it ultimately takes, brings some form of truth and accountability. And that continuing to speak Spencer and Monique's names ensures that they are remembered as more than a case file or a headline. If you have any cases that you think deserve attention, especially one involving delayed justice, unanswered questions, or a victim whose voice has been silenced, you can submit it through the links in the description box below. I read through every single case submitted. If you found this episode meaningful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on post notifications so that you don't miss future uploads. If you are interested in doing your own digging on this case, I have listed all of my resources and sources. I would also love to hear your thoughts on the case in the comments below. Just remember to be respectful and mindful when stating your opinion. If you're listening on Spotify or another podcast platform, leaving a 5-star rating is one of the easiest ways to support the show and helps these stories to continue reaching more people. If you prefer shorter, more digestible content, I do also share these same cases on my TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, just in shorter, more condensed versions. I will see you next week with a brand new case. Until then, stay safe, stay aware, and never stop seeking the truth.